Yeah, so this is a fair use from the Act of 1976. Disclaimer, Section 107, under critical and teaching and scholarship and educational purposes, research. I am not making any money off this. This is fair use, fair use.
My big Peace Corps program. My uncle started the Peace Corps, he started the space program. My space program, my Peace Corps program is going to be wellness farms, rehabilitation facilities that I'm going to start in rural areas all over the country, where people, any American can go for free. Any of them who is dependent on drugs, either legal drugs or illegal drugs, psychiatric drugs, which every black kid is now just standard put on Adderall, SSRIs, benzos, which are known to induce violence. And those kids are going to have a chance to go somewhere and get reparented, to live in a community where there'll be no cell phones, no screens. You'll actually have to talk to people. You heard all.
Can get reparented on a wellness farm. Can you admit that you said that?
Can get reparented on a wellness.
Well, let me read exactly what you said. You said every black kid is now just standard, put on Adderall, on SSRIs, benzos, which are known to induce violence, and those kids are going to have a chance to go somewhere and get reparented, to live in a community where there will be no cell phones, no screens. You know, you claimed, in fact, you went on to say, actually the whole transcript was even worse. You said that if you could, you would send, quote, every black kid, again, your words, not mine, to go live on farms and work. Is that your...
I would have to hear that recording because...
Well, I have the recording.
I have no memory of saying anything like that.
Yeah, well, I actually have the recording that I can give to you, but it is absolutely what you said. And if you want me to play it, I can play it.
If you ask me what my opinion is, I do not believe that every black kid should be reparented on a wellness farm or whatever, and I have never believed that.
Well, you said it, sir. I have the video here. In fact,
I'm telling you, I don't believe it. That's not my vision for our country.
Well, I'm glad, because it was ignorant to say, it was dangerous, and it was irresponsible.
Well, if I said it, I apologize, but I'd have to see the transcript.
Support journalism.
I love how he's surprised that he said it. I don't remember saying nothing like that. Hey, but it's got to be good to be white, man. When you could just say, I didn't say that. I don't remember saying that. It's just, and that's it. And then you could go on to be the president. You could be the fucking the secretary of health or whatever he is. You know what I'm saying? You could be these, you could be these top positions, man. Say the wildest things, man. Right? But this is what they think of you so-called blacks. But it's not just, they throw that out there, right? Even though you northern tribers, especially you Spanish-speaking northern tribers, right? You love the self-proclaimed so-called white man so much that even with this so-called black and brown unity, even within Congress, you're trying to sell out your brother. But that's okay, man. You all are about to experience, man, another level of the devil, right? So to speak, right?
There is death. 30 years of hard labor, nigga. Slavery. Enslaving your ass. Nigga don't even want to kill you. You know how bad it is? That was never bad enough at killing the nigga. They say, no. He's young. He's able-bodied. Yeah. We need that labor. Now, I want to play. Hold on. Let's see if I have this clip. Because y'all niggas out here playing with these white people and y'all think this shit a game. I actually think it's time for niggas to withdraw in a real way. Because this shit rigged, bro. Like, this shit ain't in the favor of niggas. Niggas gonna have to figure out a plan of how to move forward in this country because... Let me just play this.
Based on Mr. Gathwright's age, physical abilities, things like that, do you think that the prison would benefit from him in a work capacity if he were sentenced to life without parole?
I say yes. With my experience, not only just in classification, but as former warden and even as a jail administrator, he's someone that's young, he's healthy. In reality, we need that labor, we need that sweat equity, and we would put him out there to work because we do have an aging prison population, jail administration, we have that. So we put these young individuals to work and get some sweat equity out of them since they are young and actually can do the work.
Now, this is a motherfucker. Now, he might as well be a cracker, but he look like an Indian that just said that shit. But they telling you that they have an aging prison population. I mean, you young niggas ain't going to jail like you used to. We know that via the 13th Amendment, slavery is illegal unless you get prosecuted for a crime. The second that you get locked up, you forfeit all of your rights as a citizen, and you essentially become a slave to the state or into this corporation we call the United States. So it seems like, y'all talk about YNs all day and why not, but he said we have an aging prison population, and we need these young niggas to be in here for sweat equity, for labor. Yeah. We finna turn, we need y'all slave labor in here. So no, we don't want to get this nigga the death penalty. We'd rather have 30 years of hard labor. Nigga, LaQuint Dickens.
Come on, Jay.
You gonna be in that bitch turning big rocks
to little rocks.
to little rocks.
Yeah.
Every day, sun up to sundown, till your back give out.
Your back give out. And then when your back give out, smack in the back of the head.
Smack you in the back of the motherfucking head. Then they'll consider the death penalty.
Yeah.
And that penalty right there is death.
Yeah, so this is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 2. And it shall come to pass, right, which means it's definitely going to happen, if they say unto thee, right, which is talking about you Israelites, right, you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians are the Israelites, right, via Bible prophecy, right, and we're at the last days, right? At the end of the day, the Lord said for us to warn you for Him, and the warning has went out. So now we're coming to a time where the trouble is about to come, right? So we're telling you Jacob's trouble is coming. So this is still a warning for those who are here. It says, whither shall we go forth, right? So everybody can kind of see, the Strait of Hormuz, this whole thing with the Hanti virus, right? The Ebola virus, is about to get ready to shut down the world, right? The CV19 2.0, right? The global lockdown via through some type of world sickness. It's going to be, and this time it's going to be completely locked down, right? And what's it called? The curfew is going to come with stiff penalty. This time with actually losing your life if you don't obey the curfew, right? And then because you didn't listen to the Lord, you didn't take heed to the warning. Then thou shall tell them, right? And this is what's happening now. We're telling you, right? You so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. Thus saith Yahweh, right? The Father, right? The Father, but you can't forget the Son, So also Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which as are for death, right? See, a lot of you are you're set up to just die in this place. The Lord said you should be like dung upon the earth. That's via the scriptures, man. The Lord is not a man that He shall lie, right? So you should fear what we're telling you. Such are for death to death, and such are for the sword, right? And the sword is an instrument of what? Of death, right? And such are for famine, right? So via through this Strait of Hormuz block, this them blocking the Red Sea and all these other things that they're blocking, right? It's going to bring forth famine in a major way throughout the entire globe, right? They did it to us in 70 AD, but this time they're going to do it to the world, right? They've seen the benefits of being able to do those things, right? And the benefit is you're about to see grown men cry like women and beg, right? You're going to see the integrity of men, right? That's a true surefire way to see the integrity of a person, right? So Lord willing, our integrity is in Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, for that hopeful elect number. For famine to the famine, and such are for what? Captivity, right? And that's what they're talking about. What's captivity, right? Slavery. And then also they got concentration camps too, re-educational camps, and unalivement camps too. You're talking what do you call it? Firing squad. They're gonna put you in front of a firing squad. They're gonna put some people to be hung by rope. They're gonna have some people be beheaded by guillotine, right? And these are just some of the ways that they're gonna start just depopulating. Not to mention these sicknesses, these so-called illnesses that the WHO says that they need to shut down the world for, right? Because they can control was it disease center without a prevention, right? Or really control disease center purposefully, right? Because this is an intent, right? And as captivity for the captivity, right? Slavery, right? This is what they're talking about for you Jakes. We need that sweat equity. For that's what he was talking to about that, Jake, right? RFK Jr. said we're gonna put you in. Hey man, you seem like you're unstable in mind. We know where to put the what does it say? We have a mental crisis, right? Mental breakdown crisis. We know to put you so-called blacks, right? Which you so-called Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, and anything, because somehow you think that this is not going to apply to you, right? Because you're so busy trying to be like Blanco, you're gonna eventually realize, yeah, it's gonna affect Jake, but it's gonna affect you Northern Kingdom, you Israelites as well, right? It's gonna affect the Southern Kingdom and the Northern Kingdom, because we are collectively together, the Israelites, right? We're not just the kingdom of Judah and the Northern Kingdom, which is Israel, right? We are the Israelites together collectively, and these people, they're not going to show any mercy, right? And I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, the sword to slay, the dog to tear. This is the Most High. See, a lot of you ain't listening. See, like dudes saying, hey, we need to do something. We need to totally separate, but he ain't talking about coming back to the Lord, bro. None of you are actually coming back talking about we need to seek our power. None of you are saying that. None of you are really saying that maybe them Israelites is right. Or you're saying it like the what's his name? The angry prepper. He said, dang, maybe these Israel, but he ain't changed his stance. He think he can fit in this quote unquote American system, though he could see it falling apart. This is why he came up with being the angry prepper. He's mad that his the white picket fence and all the other thing is not. So his thing is to I don't know. He wants to hang on to it. But we've been trying to tell you that this is not your rest. This is what the Lord said. So since you ain't believed that Yahushai, you didn't believe Yahushai died for you, and that this is not your rest, this is what you're going to get, and the dog to tear, and the fowls of the heavens, or heaven, Salakia, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy, right? So a lot of you are going to get chased by beasts. It's going to be a crazy time, man. Jacob's trouble, right? It's a poly crisis. I don't know if you understand that. Every which way, it's going to be death whichever way you go. You think you can run to Esau, right? Right? Especially you Northern Kingdom, right? You so-called Puerto Ricans, Native Americans, right? You Mexicans, right? You Spanish-speaking tribe, you native tribes, native to America. You love Esau. Even Jake, you so-called Negroes, man. You think you could run to Esau, who's actually causing this thing. He calls us all both small and great, rich and poor. What do you think he's doing? It's not to be your friend. He's separating and removing the middle class. But somehow you think you can kiss your master's ass so much that all of a sudden, you're just this special so-called Mexican. You're this special Puerto Rican. You're this special so-called Negro, whether Jamaican or Haitian or so-called American Negro, right? When you are the Israelites, you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, and they don't like you, you're gonna find out the hard way. You're trying to kiss his butt, and he's removing the middle class, right? You're gonna have rich, you're gonna have poor, and you may have some Jakes that's over there, but they can't help you, right? And even then, they're only going to be able to do but so much in their life, right? Right? Their whole thing is that you are to be micro C hipped and own nothing but be happy, right? You're not going to be able to take flights. They said you're going to use oculars. You're gonna go into a meta world, and that's how you're going to take your flights. You want to go to Paris? You want to go see was it the Great Wall of China? You're going to be sitting in your living room with some oculars on, some type of thing, and you're going to go virtually. Meanwhile, the rich and the famous and the billionaires, not even say the famous, right? Because even those, they finna, a lot of you rich and famous people are finna be poor. They finna put you out of there too, especially you so-called black ones and you Latino ones. You know, they might have some token Jakes in there here and there, but it's only for you to entertain them. It's only for you to do this or do that, or it's for you to put the carrot out so it can look like, hey, we're not all together racist. See, there's some of us that's still okay. See, you're just looking at life messed up because you don't got your priorities straight. See, if you just had your priorities straight, see, you could be here too. You know, to give you a false sense of what do you call it? Safety, peace and safety. What sudden to what destruction, right? And the beast of the earth to devour and to destroy, right? Which is basically destruction. Yeah, so this is Jeremiah chapter 43, verse 11. And when he cometh, he shall smite, right? Which this is Esau. Esau is about to smite, which really is the Lord is finna send him. So really, it's the Lord doing it, right? Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai doing it. He's going to do it through Esau, right? Yahweh Shai is coming through the Lord, through Yahweh, through Yahweh Shai. Esau is going to smite, which the Lord is also going to smite, right? Because really with this whole blockade and these things that they're doing is really coming from the Lord. And he shall smite the land of Egypt, right? Which spiritually is America, which really what they're doing is they think that they're doing this controlled demolition, right? And they think they're doing it so they can bring which they are, in a sense they are, but it's gonna backfire on them, according to the scriptures. This is really the Lord's micro C hip, right? Right? And basically this is really Esau shooting himself in his other foot, in his own other good foot, right? Because it tells you that what Jacob held fast the heel of the other foot. So you're only standing on one good foot, but he's about to shoot the one good foot by doing this blockade, by doing this thing, by raising up and about to put this thing into hyperinflation, self sabotaging the economic system so they can bring in the new system, right? Which is basically once they bring in the micro C hip, that's when the second coming of the Lord is coming, because he's not going to let you micro C hip the elect. So really they're gonna do it only to their own demise, right? And it says which America is spiritually Egypt, and deliver such are for death to death, and such are for captivity, right? So a lot of you are going to be going into these concentration camps, but also what slavery and camps, right? And we know who's the best really at doing that field work. That's you Issacharites, right? You so-called Hondurans and Venezuelans and Cubans, and you're really good at being in the field. So you think they may put you over as like taskmasters over Jake, right? Which that's basically what this guy said he wanted to do. He wanted to have this young Jake being there because he's young and he's capable, and they wanted that sweat equity. But don't think that he's not going to do it to you northern kingdoms, right? Because your mind is so separated that you're not the same people, right? And that's part of what divide and conquer. They're going to conquer you to that, and doing that, they what? And such are for captivity to captivity, and such are for the sword to the sword, in which some people are going to stand up. They're going to fight. They're going to come up against this, right? Some people are going to get what's that called, drafted, right, into this war for you know the rest. And I will kindle a fire in the house of the gods of what? Of Egypt, right? And here in Egypt, you worship, even back in ancient Egypt, it was you had many gods, just like here. You got Mary as a god, you got Buddha, you got Allah, right? You got your woman, You got your children, right? A lot of you jakes, you got the box, you know, the box. You know, your whole thing is get box, get sex, right? You women are into all sorts of things. One day you're a lesy, the next day you're with a guy. You're all mixed up. So these are all these different gods and things that you believe in. You know, not to mention the American dream, like what's his name? The angry prepper is trying to hang on to. That's his God. Instead of, he said, damn, they ain't seem like those Israelites is right. Well, why wouldn't you look into it? Seem like an intelligent guy. Obviously, we're hey, whatever, bro. And says, and shall burn them, right? So it's gonna be a day where things are gonna get hot and heavy, right? They got that what do they call it? Direct energy weapon, right? And they burned up, you know, Lahaina, Hawaii, and was it I forgot the place in LA, but it's, you know, the high rich, they use those things, right? They used it for these different meat plants, meat factories, and eggs and things, so you don't have any food, so they're cutting out the food source, right? Those fires are intentional, right? They're cutting out the forest. That's where the other animals live. So they're cutting off your source of food, so you have no choice but to go through them, right? And carry them away captives, right? So that's what they want. The dude said he wants sweat equity. RFK said he wants to put you on a funny farm, basically. He said you're mentally deranged. You're doing all these different drugs. You're incapable of basically being in society. So we should put you off on a farm so they can get free labor. All right. And he shall array himself with the land of Egypt, as a shepherd putteth on his garment, and he shall go forth from thence in peace. Right? Say, hey, the Lord's not gonna have any inquiries, right, about putting you jakes into such conditions. Yeah, so this is Lamentation chapter 4, verse 9. They that be slain by the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. See, that's the time that you're coming in, right? So you're going to be hungry on one end, right? Being killed by one end on the other end, chased by wild beasts on the other end, snatched up, put into slavery on another end, right? Being forced and surveillanced and pushed to put forth the mark of the beast within your right hand or your left hand or in your head, right? In order to live, right? No one can buy or sell save he that had the mark, right? That mark, what Karagma, Karak's Grapho, it has to be something. It can't be sin, right? Because right? We know that the Lord, sinners can't go to heaven, right? So if you have to buy produce with sin, right? Because some people say it's sin in all of its forms, right? Well, we know that it can't be sin, right? Because how can you get to heaven? The Lord said, "Be not deceived." What? Nor fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, right? Nor extortioners, right? You shall not inherit the kingdom of heaven. So if you're thieving, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're extortion, you're doing all these different things. You're either whether you're doing idolatry spiritually or physical, you cannot get it. You're not getting the kingdom of heaven. So what sin are you doing that you're going to be able to buy and sell, but then somehow still make it into the chariots? That's insane to even think that's possible, right? So what? Hey, better is he that slain by the sword than they that be slain with hunger for these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field, right? Because what? They're going to control it. They're going to put a lot of you Jakes, whether you Southern Kingdom or Northern Kingdom, whether you're living La Vida Loca, you're so extra Spanish, you're so extra Latino. Guess what? You're going into the field right alongside Jake, right? You're so extra. I'm black, y'all. I'm black and I'm proud. You know, I got the black fist. I wanna be black militant and this and that. Hey, listen. Or you want to be YNs? Hey, well, YNs are headed to the slave field, as we can see, right? The hands of the pitiful woman have slaughtered their own children, right? See, and hey, also was it cannibalism is coming back in a real way. Slaughtered means killed. You put them in the boiling water, they boiled them, cooked them, I don't know, seasoned them, they did whatever they did to do, and that slaughtered their own children. They were their meat. People are going to be eating their children. That's how bad this time is going to be. But you know, hey, in the destruction of the daughter of my people, which daughter meaning the whole entire Israelite. It's not just talking about the women. It's talking about all of Israel. This is talking about Israel, all 12 tribes, whether you're so-called black, Hispanic, whether you're Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation. Hey, you're going to get wrapped up in this because the spirit don't miss. The Lord knows who you are. The angels know who you are. Hey, the demons know who you are, right? So these things are going to happen. If you don't repent and come back to the Most High, why there's a chance, right? Right? Your own children, where they were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people, which are the Israelites. You so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. You will be eating your own children. You will be eating your neighbors. You will be doing a lot of things, which, according to them, you know, Mickey E's already have that. They already have the children. According to Abraham Finkelstein, you already been eating the children at Mickey E's, right? Yeah, so this is Isaiah chapter 53, verse 1. Who have believed our report? So we're reporting. We're reporters, right? You know, spiritual reporters. And to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? Right? Who should believe our report? To whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? Yeah, so this is Amos chapter 3, verse 7. Surely Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai power, will do nothing, right? So the Most High Yahweh, through his only begotten Son, will do nothing but he revealeth, right? So hey, right? Who will believe our report? But whom to where he reveal it to, right? Revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. So hey, as we're here doing these digital epistles, we're out there on the highways and the byways. Hey, Lord willing, we believe we're the prophets. We're the people who's giving the report. We're giving the warning, right? The lion have roared, right? Which we know Yahushua is that lion, right? He's the Lion of Judah, of the tribe of Judah, right? And a lion devours, man, right? You know, who will not fear? Hey, see, the Most High through his only begotten Son is coming to judge. He's finna send forth Yahushua to judge this place. All judgment was given unto Yahushua, right? And he's that lion. He's about to wreck shop. And this is what we're trying to tell you. You're gonna believe our report or not? Hey, you know, for the Lord out of one, Yahweh, Most High, power, Bahasham Yahushai, have spoken, right? So once he speak, the word of the Lord goes out, will never come back void, right? We do know that, right? The Lord is not a man that he should lie, nor the son of man that he should repent. So he don't have to change his heart or his mind concerning you. But he can do it if you repent, if you change. He can change his mind towards what he was going to do to you because you changed your ways, right? And that's ultimately what we're here for, which, hey, the Lord said, give them the report, right? Give them the warning. And and the other one, Yahweh, Most High power, Bahasham Yahushai spoken, who can but prophesy. See, and it's our job to prophesy. If we're called out to prophesy, that's just what we have to do. That's the duty, right? Hey, hey, bro, the Lord is finna wreck shop, man. He's definitely he's a lion, bro. Right? He's coming back. It says published in the palaces at Ashdod, right, which is the chief place of Edom, right? Or well, the port city of where Israel is at, which Edom is ruling in Israel, right? And in the palaces of Egypt, which we know that America is spiritually Egypt. So we got Amalek, right, with the small headers, right, which they're in cahoots together with the Americans, which is Egypt, and say, assemble yourselves upon the mountains of Samaria, right, which is the northern kingdom, right? You northern kingdom, you so-called Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, Native Americans, right? You Guatemalans, you people who come from Venezuela and all these different places, Colombia, Cuba, right? You're the northern kingdom. And behold, a great tumult, which means a war. So you don't think it's not coming to you northern kingdom too, right? It ain't just the so-called blacks, right? Which that's not a nationality. So that should tell you something. When we're telling you we're the Israelites and we explain it to you, how did it go from Negro to, was it colored, to Afro, to somehow they keep moving the ball and change for a reason, because these people must be somebody else. You've never seen them move the ball for so-called Chinese people. You've never seen them move it for anything. You know, the one veil that has been moved, but actually been moved backwards is Persia, because that's set up for what? Prophecy. Now you know that those Iranians are really Persia, which the Lord tells in Ezekiel 38 for Gog of Magog, Rosh, right, which means prince, chief prince, Rosh Shar, right, which in the Hebrew, right, Rosh, which is chief, Shar is prince. So if you say it together, Rashar, right, you know that it's speaking of Russia. That's how you would say it in English, Russia. They have to protect Persia. So we're at the end of this thing, man. And we're prophesying to against the small hatters, when Ashdod, and against the so-called American Edomite, which is Egypt, and say, assemble yourselves upon the mountains of Samaria, right, which you northern kingdom, and behold a great tumult. Hey, it's going to be a war, right? You're going to have race wars. You're going to have food wars, class wars, lack of bread wars, right? Lack of understanding. Hey, people are going to be, people are going to have nothing to lose, so they're going to lose it, right? In the midst of the what? Oppressed, right? What's oppressed, man? When you're putting people in slavery, when you're putting people in positions where they have to, there's hyperinflation, which that's what's coming, right? In the midst of the oppressed, in the midst thereof, right? For they know not to do right. Yeah, see, that's the northern kingdom, man. Which really all you Israelites, you so-called black, Hispanic, Canadian, you don't know to do right. But you northern kingdom, hey, you think that Esau is going to be your friend, but he's not. So for you so-called black, Hispanic, Canadian Indians, hey, you better get your head out your ASS, man. Because, hey, they're coming. Because they don't know to do right, saith Yahweh, who stores up violence and robbery in their palaces. Esau, think about it. Who stores up violence and robbery? Right? Esau, Edom, man. And they're coming for you. Yeah, so this is Matthew chapter 1, verse 21. And she shall bring forth a son. The she is what? Mary. Right? And thus shall call his name, really it's Yahushai, because the letter J is only 4,500 years old. Right? We know that. And there's no E's and there's no U's in the Paleo Hebrew, which that's obviously what our Lord would be speaking, because obviously our Lord sprang out of Judah, and Judah is from the tribe the Hebrew Israelites. He's a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Judah, right? So-called, what they would call a so-called Negro, right? So, but, hey, who's going to believe our report that our Lord is a so-called Negro, right? As the scripture says, his feet is the color of brass if it burned in the furnace. His hair like wool. The Father's hair is like wool in Daniel's. Tell you the Most High, the Ancient of Days, his hair and his head, hairs on his face and the hairs on his head is a pure wool, right? Not Edomite's textures. Why you Northern Kingdom love to have your head up to Edomites, self-proclaimed so-called white man's, ASS. By the way, it tells you that for he shall save his people, right? The so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians from their sins, right? And the only way you can sin is to break the law, statutes, and commandments. So who's going to believe our report, right? Yeah. So obviously the Lord, there's no J's, there's no U's, there's no E's in the Paleo Hebrew, but who's going to believe our report, right? It's that is the Lord, that what sin is a transgress. Well, here it is. Whosoever committeth sin, right? Because he said he's going to die for his people for their sin. And the only one who were given the laws were the Israelites. The Lord said he revealed the secrets to his servants, the prophets. Name another nation that was a prophet that the Lord ordained as a prophet, right? Balaam basically prophesied, but he was not ordained as a prophet. He just had a vision and it was recorded. But it was never set up that he set him up as a prophet unto the nations. The only time you set up prophets are Israelites. That's why he revealed his secrets to the servants, the prophets, the Israelites, right? That's why the Lord, he shall die for his people, for their sins. What sin? Whosoever committeth sin, transgressive also what? The law. So the law is actually sin. So when you transgress the law, that's sin. When you're committing spiritual and physical adultery, that's sin. When you're committing effeminate and abusers of themselves with mankind, when you're committing what is it? How'd it go? It talks about them being extortioners, drunkards, extortioners, effeminate, right? Abusers of themselves with mankind. When you're doing all these different things, that's sin, man. Right? And you transgressive also what? The law. So who gonna believe our report? That Yahushua came to die for his people, for their sins. Right? And ye know that he was what? Magnified. Yeah. Manifest. It's like, yeah. We know that he was manifest. Right? I'm going to have to look up that word manifest, right? Because who's being manifest? Yahushua. We know he was manifest, which is Yahushua, to take away our sin. We're talking about Yahushua, not who the world ignorant calls JC. Yahushua, a so-called black man, a Negro man, came to die for the Latinos, Negroes, and Native Americans, man. Not for anyone else, man. For you Latinos, Negroes, and Native Americans, period. Well, and your Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but it's talking about Israelites, because that's what they call you. Those are just bywords. That's not really your actual nationalities. Your actual nationality will be an Israelite. And the Lord came to take away our sin, which is transgression of the law, which is Yahushua, right? Not JC, came to die for his people, for their sins, right? Take away our sin, and in him is no sin. See? Now we could be forgiven. We could be looked at as we never sinned. Well, hey, but who's going to believe our report? Yeah. So this is
Manifest.
Fundamentally means to show or to make something clearly visible, right? So clearly our Lord sprang out of Judah, right? He's a Hebrew Israelite, and he came to die for his people, for their sins, and the sins to transgress the law. whosoever sinned transgress of the law. And it was clear that he, right, Yahweh Shai, was manifest to take away our sins, right? To show or make something clearly visible. So we're making it clearly and plain, unlike a plantation Christianity that you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians love to be about, love to be in these different things. So we're saying that you're the Israelites. We're making it clear. Who's going to believe our report, right? Right? He came to die for his people, which are the Israelites. Yeah, so this is Isaiah chapter 9, verse 12. The Syrians before and the Philistines behind, right, which is going to represent these militaries, right, starting with Esau, Edom, America, and then you got these other nations that have their sleeper cells and these different things that's going to happen, you know, that set off this polycrisis, all these different things where you're gonna go through so many different ways to be unalived, man. Or hey, you might make it, you know. But if you don't have the Lord, you're gonna make it just so you could be destroyed by the missiles, right? You know. And they shall devour Israel, right? Which is all talking about all 12 tribes, right? Whether northern kingdom or southern kingdom, with open mouth, right? Because a lot of you're stuck on stupid. When they come, you're gonna be surprised. Like the Lord said, He's coming like a thief in the night. You're gonna be with your mouth open. Oh shit! Oh, yeah, they're gonna be coming down upon you. For all this, His anger is not turned, and really, it's the Most High sending them to do this. And whose anger? And His anger, which is the Most High Yahweh, the only begotten Son. His anger is not turned away, but His hand is stretched out still, which is talking about the Most High. He's going to use Esau, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, and even these other nations to punish you Israelites, man. Hey, and even each other. You're going to go against each other, right? For the people turneth not unto Him. You're not turning to the Most High. That smiteth them. See, showing you that it's really the Most High that's actually doing it, right? He's going to show you. Neither do they seek Yahweh of hosts. You're not seeking Yahweh Bashem Yahushai of hosts. So the Lord's going to send these Edomites to you, but you're gonna be so into your I'm extra Latino, so no, I don't want to get down with no Black Hebrew Israelites, and you're gonna be so down with I'm a plantation Christianity believer and I'm a foundational Black. I ain't down with no Black Hebrew Israelites, right? And the Lord's hand is stretched out still upon you. Hey, for the people turneth not to Him that smite them. See, you're not turning to the Most High. And see, and we're telling, who's going to believe our report? We're telling you. It's not what you've been told. You've been told lies, right? Neither do they seek Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai of hosts, right? You ain't even seeking Him. You didn't even think about, like I said, the angry prepper, the one from New York. He's like, man, I used to see those Israelites all the time over here in New York, and I used to be like, oh yeah. But every once in a while, you hear him talking about the MOTB, and it looked like they right. What? Hey, you goddamn Skippy, they right. You goddamn Skippy, they right. And that's what this is all about, is to bring in that MOTB. So therefore, Yahweh will cut off Israel. So you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, the Lord is about to cut you off. You're about to, you're about to get it, right? Because the Lord is going to judge according to the scriptures, right? The gloves are going to be off. Right now, you're in the time of grace, but grace is for you to get yourself together, right? After grace is done, there is no more grace period, right? I like how brothers say that. If you have a bill or whatever, and they say they give you a grace period, time to pay your bill. But say you go past the grace period. A lot of time, when most places, like I even went at this bank where they did, and I was like, hey, but I didn't know. Nope, we already passed all that. Nope, you cannot reinstate your bank account. And that's what they're about to do. They're going to show you can't reinstate your bank account unless you put in your iris, your fingerprint, your facial scanning. And then ultimately, we know that it's going to go to the microchip, the chip, in order to buy and sell, to live, right? So then your time of grace is going to be over, right? Therefore, Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, will cut off from Israel head and tail. So you top Israelites, basketball players, football players, actors, Congress, you know, enthusiasts, you know, what do they call them? What do they call Slakia? I'm so out of touch with I'm so out of touch with a lot of that stuff now. You know, the celebritydoms, you know, whether it's you know, food or what is that thing called? Instagram celebrities or TikTok celebrities. Hey man, you're all about to get it, man. From the very head, top Jake or top so-called Mexican, Puerto Rican, Cuban, Colombian, Puerto Rican, Native American, all of you are about to get it, man. Right? You are his children. And the Lord said, hey, you've been breaking the law. And he came to make manifest that he died for those people who sinned according to the law. But you feel like there ain't no law. The law is done away with. I do my own thing. I believe in Buddha. I believe in Islam. I believe in the plantation Christianity. I believe in the American dream. Hey, well, the Lord's gloves are gonna be off, and according to the law, he's coming to judge you. Right? Because the Lord, according to the law, it says you should be cut off for not holding the Sabbath. Which means to be smite, to be what? Unalived. If you're breaking the Sabbath, which a lot of those, hey, IUIC and now what's it? ISUPK, though they're trying to be Israelites, they break the Sabbath all the time. And then not to mention they're not really into the whole thing where they're seeking mercy the right way. Right? I mean, they're trying, but then it's not adequate enough. I mean, hey, Lord willing, you know. So therefore, Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai will cut off Israel, you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, all 12 tribes, head and tail, right? From the top of you Jakes and you Israelites to the last bit, to the so-called nobody, to the homeless guy on the streets, right? To the ones that's in prison. You locked up in jail. I'm a YN. I did whatever, and I got a life sentence. And now you're about to be a slave in your life sentence. It says branch and rush. Right? Right? So from the old base, that means from the old to the young. In one day, right? And that's what the Lord said is going to happen to America. It's going to be destroyed in one day. Ultimately 1 hour. And you're going to be part of that. Right? The ancient and the honorable, right? See, old person and whoever the top person. I'm Michael Jordan. Hey, you're done, Michael Jordan, because you don't know nothing about Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai. You know what do they say? Bo Jackson, Bo know this, Bo know that, Bo don't know Jack, because Bo don't know prophecy, bro. All right, right. And he that prophesy and the prophets that teacheth lies. See, your teachers, your was it your Catholic, your apostolic, your Pentecostal, your Christian, your Buddha, your Islam, your whatever, you know, your what is it called? College. Your college. They teach lies. He is the tail. Right? Hey, yeah, hey, he's going to be the last. Well, it tells you that. Hey, that's actually scriptural. Yeah, well, it is in the scriptures, but I mean, because it tells you anyone teaching, anyone teaching? Matter of fact, let me get it. Yeah, so this is Matthew chapter 5, verse 19. Whosoever, right? I mean, of who? Of the Israelites. Therefore shall break. What are they breaking? One of these least commandments. Where's the commandments at? And could that be the law that Israelites break? Not talking about the whole world. Israelites break commandments. And shall teach men so. Right? He shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. See? Yeah, that's basically going right with the other script that I was just reading, right? Which we're going to go back to. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. See, hey, who shall believe our report? We're telling you the right things. So but who's going to believe our report? Right? Oh, yeah, basically, back right here. It's just Isaiah 9 and 15. It says, the ancient and honorable, he is the head, and the prophets shall what? And the prophets that teach lies, right? That teach man's soul, to tell him to break. It's okay. You can break the commandments. The commandments don't exist, right? That's done away with, or don't even worry about that. Oh, those are the black Hebrew Israelites. Don't listen to them. Don't believe their report. Hey, because that's basically your prophets, and the prophets teaching, and the prophets that teach lies he is the what? Tail, the end. So in the kingdom of heaven shall be the least in the kingdom. You're going to be the tail. You're going to be the bottom of the kingdom of heaven. For the leaders of this people, right? You so-called black, Hispanic, Canadian Indians, calls them to err, right? To go wrong. And they that are led of them are destroyed, right? Which is what I'm trying to tell you. If you're not following what we're telling you, you're going to be destroyed. Therefore, the outer one, Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai, shall have no joy in their young men. Hey, so the Lord said, if you deny me, the Lord said, I will deny you and your children. So the Lord's going to deny you. Hey, you're going to get cut off, and your children are going to get cut off, which be unalived. The Lord is not going to play around, right? He's going to judge according to the law. And you've been breaking the Sabbath. You've been committing adultery. You've been worshiping. Hey, the first one is to actually have no. You've been breaking the first commandment. Have no other God before you. You done broke, man. You done broke. Hey, if you break the least commandment, man, and then teach men so, you're gonna be least in the kingdom. Whew. What the new rap thing? Sheesh. Yeah, they be rap. They be sheesh. Hey, yeah, that sheesh. Yeah, man. Huh? Says therefore Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai have no joy, and their young men neither shall have mercy on their fatherless, right? The little babies, the children, and widows, right? You women, for everyone is an hypocrite, right? Yeah, right. You on some hypocritical stuff, man, right? Everything is fine unless you the one who done it, or unless it's someone you love done it. You know, everybody else is they're nothing. They're this, they're that, and this, right? Or unless Edomites done it. You got the Epstein list. You got what is it called? Same sex pastors in the Catholic Church. You got women pastors. The Bible says opposite of all these things. But hey, I mean, you're hypocrites. But those are the black Hebrew Israelites. Hey, but who will believe our report, right? And an evildoer and every mouth speaking folly, right? Hey, the Lord's from the for everyone is an hypocrite and an evildoer, and every mouth speaketh folly. For all this, his anger is not turned away. Hey, the Lord is still angry with you, so-called black, Hispanic, and Indians. And he's going to send the Edomites and these other nations and these sleeper cells and these different Vidi, you know, after you, the was it what? It's coming after you. Yeah. Yeah. Get back right here, Salakia. But his hand is stretched out still. See, the Lord's still angry with you, right? For the wickedness burneth as fire. It shall devour the briars and thorns, right? Which are you Israelites, man? You're briars and thorns, man. You're man. You're a pain to deal with, man. Your sight. Not gonna say what sight for sore eyes is not. It's supposed to be good, right? Or I don't know if it's no. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be good. But you're a sight that no one that you don't want to see, should I say? Right? You know, you're an embarrassment. You so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, man. Right? You're basically briars and thorns, and shall kindle in the thickets of the forest. Right? The Lord's gonna, hey, this place America is about to change forever, right? And this place is going to be on fire, right? Politically, financially, and then you know, it's going to be a life and death thing every day, and then ultimately the ICBM missiles, man, right? Well, after they put forth that micro SIP, right? First and foremost, and plus you got the World War III. You got a lot of things to deal with. This the scamdemic, which this time it's going to be for real, right? Right, it's going to be a scam still, but they're gonna crank it up a whole lot, right? They're gonna throw everything they got at you, and they shall mount up like the lifting up of smoke. Yeah, see, because this place is going to be on fire, bro. Right? It says, through the wrath of Yahweh of hosts, the land is darkened, and the people shall be as fuel for the fire. Right? When the ICBM missiles hit, you're going to be on fire. Right? Your body is going to melt while you stand upon your feet. No man shall spare his brother. Right? Being like I said. First, all this stuff, this famine, this thing, you're going to go after each other. It's going to be on fire in more than one way. And then, like I said, ultimately on fire because of the ICBM missiles. Right? But a lot of you are going to be on fire because you're going to have nothing to lose, and you're going to lose it. And you're not going to spare your brother. You're not going to spare your neighbor. It's going to be an all-out civil war over everything. The last bit of water, the last bit of egg, things you used to, remember when you used to just go to the neighbor, hey, you have an egg, you just borrow that. You got any flour? Can you imagine in that day when people are soldering their children to ask them, can you borrow an egg? Yeah, I'll let you borrow an egg. I'm gonna crack your head like an egg, and I'm gonna eat you. These are the type of things people are gonna be thinking about, right? Because they're gonna spare their brother, right? And he shall snatch on the right hand and be hungry. Right. Come on now. And he shall eat on the left hand, and they shall not be satisfied. See, it's gonna be food far in between. It's not gonna be much food at all. But in the meanwhile, in between while, you're gonna be going to concentration camps. You're gonna be going to rehabilitation camps. You're gonna be going to chipping camps where they're gonna chip. Then the other ones are gonna be getting chipped and then I guess put into slavery, right? On funny farms, right? And they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm, right? Which means not necessarily mean his actual own arm, which that might happen too. But it's talking about what? Your best friend, your neighbor, your son, your uncle, your nephew, your daughter-in-law, your grandchildren, right? This is what you're gonna be. You're gonna be so hungry. You're gonna eat your wife, or the wife's gonna eat her husband, right? Right? And then, like I said, overall, when it comes to you, with all this happening and all these things, you got the Northern Kingdom, right? Who still loves Esau, living la vida loca. I'm extra Latino, what were they? They're like two different languages, right? Because Latin, to say you're Latino, Latin is a language. Oh, I'm Spanish. I'm a Spanish. Well, Spanish is a language. That's not a nationality, right? So you're extra Latino, extra Spanish, but you think it means something, but it just means it's just a language that you speak. That your oppressors who destroyed you, who cut your women, hung your women upside down, cut out their stomachs, stomped on the heads of the babies and fed it to their dogs when they ran out of food. Those Edomites that you love so much because your name is Garcia and whatever else, them Edomite names, you know, that you really got them Spanish last names for, because I'm a Spanish and I'm Latino, right? Your language. So, hey, Manasseh, Ephraim, right? Ephraim and Manasseh, right? Say, hey, the Lord doubled down on it. Speaking of all the northern kingdom. So that's basically the head is Ephraim, but Manasseh's the oldest. So it's saying Manasseh, right? Saying Manasseh first because he's the oldest. And then Ephraim because he's the second to the oldest. But then it turns around and say Ephraim again because Ephraim is actually the head of the northern kingdom. Ephraim and Manasseh, they together, right? Which speaking about all you northern kingdom, you Puerto Ricans, you Cubans, you Colombians, you Mexicans, you Native Americans, they together shall be against Judah, right? Which so-called African American, so-called Jamaican, Haitian. You're gonna be against anyone who's so-called black, right? You're gonna still hate your brother. With all this stuff happening, somehow you figure out how to go into Congress and try to underwrite the other so-called the so-called black people out of the thing, just for the Edomites who's about to have you in captivity, who was bashing you over the head with ice, right? But hey, whatever. It says, for all this, his anger, which really, this is all the Most High's anger. He's still going to keep you separated. And the only ones who really coming together is the elect. So out of the Northern Kingdom, we have Northern Kingdom brothers from different, all sorts of places. Honduras, Mexico, Venezuela. But they believe in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And we don't got no vexing or no envy between us. We got Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai because we believe in the kingdom to come. That he died for ours, for their sins. Right? Who transgressed the laws. But hey, who's going to believe our report? Are you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians who the report is for going to believe in it? Right? For all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. So with all that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachaha Kodash. I'd like to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom, to your sisters, your chwatim, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, and above all, Kwame Asherallah. Hey, we got next.